News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Ed Kalegi. Skepticism that the U.S. and Iran will reach a ceasefire anytime soon pushed oil higher while sending stocks and bonds down, extending a month of volatile trading since the war began. The Thursday numbers on Wall Street: the Dow lost 469, that's 1%. NASDAQ fell 521, that's 2.33%. The S&P dropped 114, that's 1.75%. The 10-year Treasury yield is at 4.42%. The 2-year at 3.99%. Checking oil, West Texas Intermediate at 94.29. That's up over 4%. Brent crude is at 107.81. That's up over 5%. President Trump has threatened Iran with intensified military action after Tehran rejected Washington's push for a peace deal, with the two sides far apart in efforts to end the near-month-long war. Trump posted on social media Thursday Iran had, quote, better get serious soon before it's too late, because once that happens, there is no turning back, and it won't be pretty. Word this afternoon that the president has extended his deadline with Iran to April 6th. Only a couple of days ago, he had said it was a 5-day deadline, but now that has been extended to April 6th. The president spoke at a Thursday morning cabinet meeting at the White House.
They are begging to work out a deal. I don't know if we'll be able to do that. I don't know if we're willing to do that. They should have done that 4 weeks ago. They should have done it 2 years ago.
The president also said Iran gave him a present of allowing 10 boats of oil to sail through the Strait of Hormuz.
They're going right up the middle of the Hormuz Strait. 8 big tankers are going loaded up with oil right through. And I said, well, I guess they were right, and they were real. And I think they were Pakistani flagged. Yes. And I said, well, I guess we're dealing with the right people. And actually, they then apologized for something they said, and they said, we're going to send 2 more boats.
The president said Iran should not be able to charge boats for Strait of Hormuz passage.
Should Iran be able to charge a toll for the Strait of Hormuz? They're charging some vessels to go through.
Oh, yeah. Well, should they be able to? I mean, they shouldn't be able to, but they're doing it a little bit.
The semi-official Tasnim news agency reports Iran responded to a U.S. ceasefire proposal this week through intermediaries overnight and is now awaiting a reply. Tehran has a string of conditions for ending the conflict, one of which is a guarantee that the U.S. and Israel won't resume their attacks. Bloomberg News Israel Bureau Chief Ethan Bronner is following the latest from Tel Aviv.
The Americans have presented a 15-point plan. I think it's fair to say that the 15 points are pretty much what they demanded of Iran before they went to war with it. Iran said no then they went to war, and now they've gone back, made the same demands, and it looks like Iran has said no once again.
Bloomberg's Ethan Bronner reporting from Tel Aviv. Russian intelligence is helping Iran target Americans and U.S. allies. This according to the European Union's Foreign Affairs Chief, Kaja Kallas. Speaking before a gathering of group of 7 foreign ministers outside Paris, Kallas called on the U.S. to step up pressure on Moscow by supporting Ukraine's effort to counter the Russian invasion. Kallas spoke with Bloomberg's Oliver Crook.
Well, it's very clear for us where the lines are, and clearly, Russia is not on the side of Americans. That's very clear. So there should also be pressure on the Russians, because they are providing drones, but also intelligence.
She then talked about a correlation with the Ukraine situation.
We should not tie the two things together when it comes to helping Ukraine, what we need to do anyway. But clearly, these two crises, two wars are linked. If you hear about the intelligence that the Russians are providing to Iran so that they could attack Americans. So, the response of the Americans should also be not to help Russia.
The European Union's Foreign Affairs Chief Kaja Kallas speaking with Bloomberg's Oliver Crook. President Trump has dispatched 5,000 U.S. Marines to the Middle East. Retired Rear Admiral John Kirby suggested how they might be engaged when he spoke with Bloomberg's Balance of Power.
The Marines could go after a couple of the small islands that bound the strait, which are in Iranian control and therefore could be used by the Iranians as bases to launch drones or even small boat attacks, and restore a little bit of confidence in the shipping industry that you've got a presence and that you have the ability to defeat Iranian threats.
Retired Rear Admiral John Kirby on Bloomberg's Balance of Power. That's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Ed Kalegi. This is Bloomberg.